You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what we're about to do. Welcome back. This is Dear Woke Christian. I thank you so much for tuning in on today. But what I want to do today is I want to do something a little bit different. I've usually talked about these topics, so I want to just go ahead and go back to an old, tried and true. Most of you may not know that I am a proud alumni of Morehouse College, class of 1999. Actually, this May will be my 25th reunion. We call it reunion year. So I'm looking forward to it. Going back and seeing the campus, seeing what's going on at the school, and hopefully seeing some brothers and sisters I haven't seen in a while, celebrating the great things that we've accomplished, aka families and children, businesses, growing older and continuing to come back to those beautiful clay hills of Morehouse College. I'm glad to be an alumni. I'm glad to be here in Atlanta to be said alumni. That being the case, however, I don't hold back any of my pushback against things that come from my alma mater, though I love her. Matter of fact, I've got my Morehouse sweater on right now. Though I love dear old Morehouse, I recognize that we are not perfect, but no institution is apart from Christ. So I don't expect Morehouse to be perfect. I don't expect Spelman to be perfect. I don't expect the overall historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, to be perfect, because they're full of sinners and they're full of flawed humans just like me. So I understand that. That being the case, however, I don't think that absolves, knowing that they're flawed, does not absolve us from the ability to critique them and call out things that we do that are wrong, things that we do that are in error, things that we do that are missteps, so on and so forth. So today, I want to take a second to look at an article, and there's been a little bit of buzz, if you will, that Vice President Kamala Harris, who is an HBCU alumni, she went to Howard, invited nearly 100 HBCU students, alumni, and distinguished guests to the White House and to the Vice President's house for, I'm understanding, there's like a little conference, if you will, and there was a party at the end. And of course, if you have young people in this day and age, there's going to be debauchery that happens at the in the party. So lots of people have been pushing back about what was done at the party. And I'm going to just take a second, because I do think that there was some pure foolishness at the party as well. Grace and peace, Kiana. Good to see you. Good to see you at the after party. But I'm willing to say, let's look at the whole event and let's critique it. So before we get too far, I do want to say, yes, and Kiana's with me, I love our HBCUs. We do. Just like anybody would love any other school. Yes, she is a Howardite, and so Kiana has to own her, just like I have to own Jamal Bryant. So everybody's got their cross to bear. One of the things I really want to point out is, and this is going to be really controversial, so please, I know, don't have anything sharp in your hands, don't be operating a mechanical vehicle, whatever. The Democrat Party does not own Black people. I know that is some revelation knowledge. You, as a person of high melanin, you can vote and choose to support whomever you want. I am a former libertarian. I choose to support whoever I feel like supporting. You can do that. You do not have to be party loyal. And watch this, you can still come to the cookout. You still will get an invitation to the cookout. Unless you put raisins in your potato salad, you are still welcome to the cookout. Your Black card is not going to be revoked. You're not going to be castigated. You can do whatever you want because you are an individual who happens to be Black. There you go. I'm giving you now, as the Black Pope, I'm giving you the absolution and giving you the indulgence to say, you know what, you can do whatever you want to do as a human. And here in America, you can just, at the current moment, you can do whatever you want to do. You have a lot of freedom, a lot of latitude, and you don't have to sit under a political party that you don't support. It's perfectly okay for you to be a free thinker, to think on your own and say, you know what? That person doesn't represent my values. That person doesn't represent the standards and the things that I would like to see perpetuated into the next generation. I understand, but I'm not going to support that. You're welcome to do that. You can. And I have done that. And I'm sure countless others have done it as well. And by the way, if you're a person of less melanin, you can do that as well. You don't have to be beholden to any political party. You can say, hey, that party right there is doing things that I don't support. They want to push ideas to children that I don't think are cool. I'm not going to support that. You are perfectly within your realm to do that. So why am I saying that? I feel like this needs to be said to the highly melanated crowd. So if you're not a highly melanated person, grace and peace to you all. This is going to be like an inner house conversation because I want to talk about the fact that we as the highly melanated need to stop running after, chasing after these people and these parties that don't have our best interest at heart. And so I know my good friend Chad Jackson has done several videos on what's called Black excellence. Let me just let you know something real quick. Just because it's pushed on by the highly melanated does not mean that it's excellent. Just because it's pushed by the less melanated doesn't mean that it's excellent. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean that it's good. It is the value of the actual product that is being pushed out. So I can't say that, hey, this podcast is Black excellence and I'm not giving you high value. Now, if you find value in it, you might say, man, that Jason's show was excellent today. That was an excellent show. But tomorrow's show could be completely trash, or the 2 episodes before were total garbage. You don't have to say, well, just because Jason is of the high melanated, it has to be excellent. It isn't. That's not a guarantee. Just because it's pushed by a certain person who has a certain kind of skin tone, that does not mean that it's excellent. It only means that you should evaluate it and look at it the same way you would look at it if it was somebody with less melanin. Just like you would look at it if it was a woman that did it, or a man that did it, or a Hispanic that did it, or pick your differentiators. But everybody should be evaluated based upon what they've done. They don't get a carte blanche just because you're Black. It's excellent. That just can't be the case. It can't be the case. It isn't the case. And today we're going to talk about it. So the HBCU Buzz is an online newspaper. I was really looking and scouring to find out what was the content of the discussion that Vice President Kamala Harris was having with this celebration with nearly 100 HBCU students, alumni, and distinguished guests. Again, I'm willing to give grace that whatever they were talking about, maybe it was really good. I don't know, because they didn't really talk about what they talked about at the celebration. It's just this after party that happened that's getting a lot of attention. And we'll talk about the after party in a moment. But let me read the title. VP Kamala Harris second annual Black History X HBCU celebration at the White House. The event held at the vice presidential residence last Thursday witnessed the gathering of 100 HBCU students, alumni, and notable figures. All right, let us get into this. Oh, by the way, shout out to Morehouse and Spelman. I see y'all right there. These are my Morehouse brethren and my sisters from Spelman, representing well. That's a great picture. And shout out to them. As a tribute to the legacy and ongoing impact of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, Vice President Kamala Harris hosted a reception to mark the conclusion of Black History Month on Thursday, February 29th. The event held at the vice presidential residence witnessed the gathering of 100 HBCU students, alumni, and notable figures, all celebrating the profound impact these institutions have on shaping the nation's future. I'm going to go right there and say, I agree with that. I agree. HBCUs have had a profound impact, I think, but at the end of the day, I think we're running our course. I know that sounds bad because I have a rising high school senior, and I wanted her to become a Spelmanite. I admit that. However, I'm recognizing that I think we might have run our course, and it's really about what I talked about in the beginning when I said that we're creating an environment where we're creating party loyalty, and you're not getting the benefit of that loyalty. But let us continue. Howard helped shape everything I am today, Vice President Harris writes. And again, she is a Howard alumni. Howard shaped everything I am today. As the world looks to the next generation of HBCU graduates, I could not be prouder of these young leaders. I know our future is bright because of them. All right. You know what? Shout out to that. And I'll just keep it moving. In her speech. So I wasn't certain, and I was really trying to find out what was the purpose of having these young men and women there at the vice presidential residence. Was there like a conference, a symposium, a panel? And I really just didn't get what was the purpose and what is the purpose? What are they making down there? I wish I could get some ad-free TV. I'll tell you right now. In her speech during the celebration, Harris emphasized the crucial role of HBCUs in American society while commending the students and pioneers for their contributions. Okay, not bad. The reception attended by distinguished guests from academia, government, politics, entertainment sectors. Among them were, I don't know why I wasn't there, Dr. Detria Trent, an alumni of Hampton University and executive director of the White House Initiatives on HBCUs, Keisha Knight Pulliam, an actress and alumni of Spelman College, and Terrence J., TV personality and alumni of NC-A&T, North Carolina A&T University. All right, so we're going to keep this moving. And you know what? I got no problem with this at this moment. I'm like, okay, that's kind of dope. Shout out. The event celebrated the crucial role of the HBCUs in nurturing the future leaders and their legacy. The reception held recently not only paid homage to the historical significance of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, but also served as a reminder of their crucial role in shaping the present and future societal landscape. All right. I mean, at the current moment, I kind of can understand that. I mean, we have a value. They have a value in the Discord. Let's hear Kamala's what she said. I think this would be fun to just kind of hear what Lady Vice President had to actually say. What did she say?
Hey, Jew.
You know! I love my ancient for the mafia.
Interesting. Historically Black colleges and universities have a high level of pride and acceptance and love and appreciation for their colleges. Let's just be honest. I mean, I think everybody can understand that. Where you went to college, you're very proud of for the most part. And let me tell you, HBCUs are no less. I mean, we love our alma maters. And I'll tell you right now, like probably every video I've done, I'm wearing something that has Morehouse on it. So just about every video. So I can't be mad at them. I got no shade to be thrown. All right, this is Terrence J. I have to admit, I don't know who Terrence J is. I didn't know who he was. I watched this clip, and I'll bring it back when we come back around because I want to talk about the after party. That's kind of where a lot of the kerfuffle has come from, the after party. So here it is. Kamala Harris invites HBCU students to the White House, and the DJ plays a song by a very horrible, deplorable rapper, Sexy Red. There's no real reason for her entertainment. Her music is terrible. It's horrible. And so, yeah, they did play that. This is my question, though. This is my question. Why are we surprised? The fact that Sexy Red exists is already an indictment on the Black community. We can't clutch our pearls and be upset that the DJ at the vice president's after party played Sexy Red. We cannot clutch our pearls when the fact that y'all let her exist. We let her exist. And I don't know if you even noticed it. Let me just bring this back up. I know I've been complaining about the commercials, but do y'all see Megan Thee Stallion right here to the left, right over my head, right there? Do y'all see her there? Y'all let that person exist. Y'all let her exist and represent Black women, Black young people, rap, entertainment, fill in the blanks. Y'all let this stuff exist. So why are you surprised when a political party thinks that this represents the young people that they want to cater to and nurture to become the next voting block. Why are we surprised? I don't understand what the pearl clutching, what the woe is me, needing a Baptist church fan is about. They already told you what they believed about you. So why are you surprised? They told you what they believed and now they're doing it. And you're like, oh my gosh, they actually believe that. Stop it. You're smarter than this, people. They've been playing y'all forever. Stop it. Just stop. And dare I say both of them. But I mean, black folk are the only ones that will voluntarily sell themselves off to the lowest bidder, to the absolute lowest bidder. You require nothing from your politicians except that they have a high melanin count. You require nothing from your leaders except that they have kinky hair. That's all you care about. So therefore, when they come out here and play ratchet thug music that is degenerate, that minimizes our black women, because you're going to see black women dancing to this in a second. When they minimize it, then y'all got the nerve to clutch your pearls for what? Why? Y'all listen to this. That's the thing. Y'all allowed this to happen. You allow Sexy Red. You allow them to represent you, and then you're surprised when Kamala Harris plays it. I'm sorry, I don't see where the outrage is. The outrage should have started at your own house. But we keep saying this. So we've mentioned this before. I'm not the first person. I'm pretty sure I won't be the last person that says, why are you surprised? Why? Tell me where I should feign shock that they played Sexy Red at the vice presidential celebration for HBCUs when y'all play it at homecoming. Y'all play this foolishness at your basketball games. Why are you surprised? If you go online and do any doggone HBCU homecoming, look for a video from homecoming. I know if you go to Morehouse or Spelman, if you go to Spellhouse's homecoming, you're going to hear this music. Why are we surprised? Why are we surprised when Kamala Harris does it? Why? We listen to it. We do it. Why are we surprised? We don't require our leaders to come up to another standard, to raise, again, you're going to watch these young people who I don't think are bad people. They're just parts of society. They're part of culture. We have unregenerate, unredeemed people doing unregenerate, unredeemed things. This is not hard to understand and recognize. I know this is going to be a shock. Strap in, please put down your coffee, and don't be driving a vehicle. Sinners sin. I know, right? Just shut the whole thing down. Turn the whole party off.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Sinners sin. And people that are not regenerate, that are not born from above, guess what they do? They sin. That's what they do. So we can't act surprised when they do these things. And you have not been holding your leaders to a position or to a standard at all. You haven't held them to a standard. So when they come in here and they make a mockery of you, you can't sit there and clutch your pearls and say, I cannot believe, how dare they play Sexy Red when you listen to it yourself. You listen to it yourself. You got it on your playlist. I'd say you had the CD in your car, but I don't know if kids still do that anymore. But you listening to it in your car. So why are you surprised? Call me shocked. I'm just like, why are we pearl clutching? And this is on both sides of the aisle. Let me just say that right there. It's not just the quote unquote conservative right-leaning people that are pearl clutching. It's the left. Why are you surprised? What, did you expect them to call you to a higher standard? Did you expect them to bring you in there and talk to you about financial stewardship and bring those young men and women in there so they can go back to their colleges and universities and talk about how to hold a standard as it relates to sexual morality? What did you actually expect them to do? What did you expect them to do? It makes no sense. They've already demonstrated they don't actually care about you. They don't actually care what you think, what you do, or any of that stuff. As long as you go in that box and you hit that letter, the proper letter, they don't really care what you do. They don't care how many baby daddies you got. They don't care how many baby mamas you got. They don't care about they don't care how many felonies you got. If you got hair legally, illegally, they don't care. They don't care. As long as you walk in that box, pull that curtain there, and you push that right button when you go in there, that's all they care about. That's it. And we as black people have sold our vote to the lowest bidder. And you're welcome, dearwokec@gmail.com. You're welcome to tell me that I'm wrong. And I'm going to drop my email right here because I expect 25,000 examples of people saying, no, Jason, we have not sold our vote to the lowest bidder. Here's an example of us holding our mayors to a higher standard, our senators, our governors, our pastors, our HOA presidents, our chief dog catchers to a high standard. Email me, dearwokec@gmail.com. I'm glad to read those. I think you all know that that's not coming because we don't. We've sold our vote to a political party that doesn't even care about our future. They don't even care about our children. They don't. And the funny thing is Kamala Harris stood right there and talked about the future when black babies, brown, highly melanated babies, are murdered at a higher level than any other baby group in the world. And she's okay with that, but she had the audacity to talk about the future. What future, boo? What future? dearwokec@gmail.com. All right. Given that there have been recent attempts to restrict educational access for minority students, I have no idea what that is. The discussion on Black history through the legislative efforts and educational policies, the event highlighted the need for HBCUs to remain accessible and vibrant. I don't know. Maybe I could be missing it. I could totally be missing it, what it is that Kamala Harris is talking about and that's limiting the access to education. And I'm going to say this as a father who has a student that's looking at going to college. I'm going to say this. So this is going to get, I know this is probably the third time I done told y'all to strap in because it's going to get rough. Not every kid needs to go to college. Not every child needs to go to college. And the idea and the notion to flood colleges with every student on the block has not benefited because y'all going to end up having doctors frying French fries at your McDonald's soon, but you don't have people to fix your cars. So everybody going to college is not a good idea. I'm just being honest with you. And some of us know this. We have family members, we have neighbors, we have people at our church, and you're like, that kid doesn't need to go to college. A 4-year college degree will not help them. That student needs to learn how to turn a wrench. That student, that young man, that young woman needs to know how to build something, weld something, swing a hammer. Those kind of skills right there are lacking significantly. But we keep sending people to college and they get indoctrinated and they think that they are worth more than they actually are. But they're in a hot room because the person to fix the air conditioner isn't there when they should have been that person that was doing the AC. I'm just saying, I know it's going to be a problematic. I know there's going to be a lot of pushback. dearwokec@gmail.com. I will absolutely, unequivocally not care. Okay, let's keep going. The high profile celebration of Black History Month signifies the unwavering commitment to empower and support Black Americans through education, but they don't care about Black babies. I'm just trying to understand it. If there was a sincere push to preserve the life of little Black babies so they could become a part of the environment, or could become, for crying out loud, could be a Black American, because at the current moment, their fetuses are not even Black Americans yet because they were murdered in the womb. I'm just saying. The occasion not only commemorated the achievements of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs in the past, but also anticipated the future contributions of these institutions and their alumni. How? How are we going to do that when we wholesale murder our children to not be able to go to a historically Black college or university? Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I just don't understand it. I don't understand the game's play. At a time when the significance of HBCUs is both challenged and celebrated, such gatherings serve as a reminder of the lasting impact and pivotal role of HBCUs in American history and their potential to shape future generations. Well, we need the actual future generations to actually be born in order to do that. I know that sounds kind of snippy, HBCU magazine, but we actually need them to be born in order to be able to do that. I know, profoundly crazy idea. So let's look at a couple of the a little bit of the celebration. There we go. So a lot of the discussion was centered around the whole after party. All right, let me pull it back through this way. And truthfully, I don't see, as I mentioned before, I don't know what the pearl clutching was all about, because this is what y'all do. This is what we do I don't expect unregenerate people to behave differently than be unregenerate. I don't understand again, I don't understand why we're upset about that, or why there was such a consternation about it. That's crazy. Okay, here's a couple of pictures from Kamala Harris's reel. You know what? Okay, fine. I don't know what the purpose of the whole event was, but you know what? She's just talking to the students. She wants to encourage them. You know what? I am not going to say that there's any problem with that. There goes my brother and sisters. That's a great picture, by the way. Fantastic. The house. All right. You know what? I've seen worse things. All right. And this is Kamala Harris and some of her alumni. I will say this is going to be super controversial. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble about this. So please, I might need y'all to send me bail money. You can send me bail money, super chat, bail money, or buy me a coffee. All right. I'm going to get in trouble for this. There is not a female on the planet that needs a nose ring to look better. I'm just going to say that. A nose ring does not make a woman look better. I'm just going to say it right now. I know I'm going to get in trouble for that. Catch me outside, dearwokec@gmail.com. Nobody needs that. I'm just saying, like that look right there, I'll be happy when that look goes away, because it is not an appealing look at all. No, you don't need it. It's not needed. It's not needed. I know I'm an old curmudgeon. Say what you want to say. I don't even care. And I'm going to still say it again. No young lady needs a nose ring in order to be, it doesn't accentuate. It just looked like an atypical college party. And I'm not trying to say that I'm not giving up, giving duck and cover for that. But it looked like just your typical college party where kids are dancing. And I'm sure most of us probably didn't approve of the dancing, but it is what it is. I mean, like, okay, yeah, we've seen this before. It's not new. It's not something new. Like, we've never seen this before. We need to clutch our pearls. Again, I don't think it's smart to run for the hills every time somebody does something that we don't agree with or disagree with, that we feign like this has never happened before. Just stop it. Because again, if you go to any Spell House event, you're going to see the exact same thing. You'll see it at FAM. You'll see it at Jackson State. You'll see it wherever. So it's not a new thing. So why are we clutching our pearls about it? I don't get it. What are we doing? Are we acting like we've never seen these dances before and kids dancing like this? What are we talking about? Stop it. You have. Stop it. All right. Lacey answers, you know what? I got tattoos I absolutely regret now. Like, yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I'm not team tattoos or nose rings. That's me. I know I'm an old curmudgeon. Okay, catch me outside. I just don't. I don't think they benefit. I understand it's very trendy. I understand it's extreme. Lots of buzz going around it and such like that. But I'm just like, when the buzz dies down, I think about some of the things I did when I was a child. Like, my daughters absolutely love to point out the fact that I used to have my ear pierced. I got my ears pierced when I was 16. My ear pierced, because only one ear at that point was cool. So 2 ears was not acceptable when I was a child. And I got my ears pierced when I was 16. I might have made it through the summer. And the next school year, I was like, yeah, I don't like this. And I took them out. I probably wore an earring in my ear, maybe 6-7 months. I didn't like it and took it out. But the hole is still there. So every now and then, my daughters, they'll be in church, whenever they can just be on my left side, and they'll be like, Dad, your ear was pierced. I wonder what it's like. You think your ear is still open? And big girl has actually tried to put an earring in my ear one time. Like, man, you better get up out of here. Like, let me try, Dad. Let me try, see if it, leave me alone. So, and I regret it to this day. Like, I promise you, if there was a cosmetic surgery that could close up the little ear hole so you could never see it, I would probably take it. I'm just being honest. So if I regret that, I can only imagine what somebody who got a big old face tattoo at 21 is going to regret when they're almost 50. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. So Yeah, I'm definitely not fond of that. And I try to discourage, look, you might think it looks cute today, but you will surely wish that you had not done that in some time in the future. In some time in the future, you'll say, yo, I wish I had not done that. I wish somebody had talked me out of it. I mean, and I, harassed my mom and dad about it when I was younger. And I was like, I really wish my mom and dad had just said, boy, no, goodbye. No, goodbye. And just left it alone. I really wish they had, but that's just me. Real B-Hop Wood said, this administration has turned the White House into Club 54. I mean, no lie detected. Pornography in the garden, Senate chambers. This is just a drop in the degenerative bucket. I agree. And you know what? I couldn't find, and I'm trying to scan and talk at the same time. I don't see the video. I don't know what I did with it. So, but it's okay. I don't think it was really worth it. I don't think it was really the worst thing that I had. The best thing I need to show today. Anyway, you'll see it. And kids are just dancing, being children of this generation. I can't expect them to be children of my generation. I can't expect them to be regenerate children. They're not. So what am I supposed to expect? Yes, Broski lady, my kids are crazy, man. I love my babies, though. I guess God supercharged me. What happened? I missed something. Oh, here it is. I can't wear jewelry. Even gold turns green. If I wear a watch, it stops within a day. Really? That's wild. Yeah, I think we've all seen a college party video. Yeah, to me, there was no reason. Okay, fine. Why should we be surprised that the White House played a degenerate rapper at a party? What is your standard that would cause you to clutch your pearls? Let me give you an example. I feel comfortable in saying that most of the people watching this live stream, if your church played Sexy Red, there would be a problem. Okay, drop a red flag or something red in the chat if you agree that if your church played Sexy Red, there would be a problem. Just drop it real quick. I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. I'm gonna drop. If Smyrna Press did that, there would be a problem. So I'm gonna make sure I add my voice to that conversation. Drop something red. Be a red dot, red flag, red apple. I don't care. All right, I think we all can agree. If your church rolled up, if you got a praise and worship team, if you got a band, if they did something with that on Sunday, there would probably be a problem. I think it's fair to say that. And I think it's fair to say that because your church doesn't roll like that. Right? Okay. So there's no, they haven't been doing that, and it's not appropriate, and so on and so forth. Right? So you would probably even go back and look at historically, like, hey, minister of music, hey, praise team, hey, pastor, last Sunday y'all were singing How Great Is Our God and A Mighty Fortress Is Our God, and this week you're singing something degenerate. You would have like a frame of reference or standard to measure your church by. Is that fair? I don't think that that's like a novel idea. So my question is, here we go. This is it. And I don't know, man. Just don't understand. What is the standard that you would hold our government to that you would say they can't play Sexy Red? What is the standard? And just like this person said earlier, this administration is turned, the White House into Club 54. Like, what is your standard for clutching your pearls? Like, how are you getting in your feelings because they played some degenerate music? Explain it to me. And they're making degeneracy mainstream. And we just pointed that out. Literally, Megan Thee Stallion is in a Nike commercial, probably played before this video. And Lord knows she's degenerate. So what are you using as your standard to say, we cannot play this degenerate music at the White House celebration for historically Black colleges and universities? It sure can't be that they have a high standard of life, because this administration believes in wholesale murder of babies. So help me understand, what's your standard? I don't think there actually is one. Kiana says it's wrong anywhere, but used to have standards that certain things did not happen in certain places, secular or sacred. We need to go back to that. It's just general decency. I agree. Well, yeah, you're right, Addie. You're right. And I don't expect anybody from William Murphy's church, the Dream Center, here in Atlanta. Atlanta must be stopped. I don't expect them to be here on this live stream. But if they are, I mean, why do y'all allow that? I would actually absolutely love, and I will do that live stream and we can have that discussion. I would love to have a conversation with a pastor like a David Hughes from Church by the Glades, or Stephen Furtick, or Andy Stanley, or any other pastor that uses secular music in church. I would absolutely love to have a conversation with them and interview them and understand what their rationale is. There's a church called Flatirons out west. I mean, they play heavy metal music, not just secular music, but the heavy metal music. I would love to understand, like, how do you come to, I would just love to hear, what is your thought process for that? What is your thought process in bringing this type of music into your worship service? But then how do you hold the government, who are unregenerate, who are not born from above, how do you hold them to that standard that they can't play degenerate music? Like, what's the standard that you're using to hold them to that? And I don't understand it. I don't understand why we pretend like they should not do that when they have not been doing anything different. That's the thing. Like, you ain't been doing something different. So why am I surprised? Why should you be shocked about that? We have to be aware of what we put in front of us, music, TV, what we read. Absolutely. And I think but see, JT 2000, the issue is you are a Christian and you are desirous to make much of Christ in your life. That's why you hold this standard. But we're talking about people who are not regenerate, who don't want to make much of Christ, who don't have any kind of standard that we're using. Why are they surprised when people behave like this? Now, we as Christians, we understand why they're behaving like this. We understand why their speech, why their dress, why their dance is like it is. We totally get it. They don't. And I don't understand why they're like pretending like it's something bad. Like, y'all been doing that though. Just because they're Black college students, they shouldn't be doing that. That's what they do in their dorms. That's what they do at the step show. That's what they do at the basketball game during halftime. Lord knows that's what they do at homecoming. So why are you surprised? Why are you feigning shock and awe when you shouldn't? It's just what y'all been doing. Is there such thing, Lacey says, as group decency anymore? Nope. We are in a post-shame society, is what it's called. We are in a post-shame society where we don't have the same shame that our grandparents did. There's certain things that your grandmother would have been ashamed of that we absolutely do without even thinking. All of us. So no, we are in a post-shame type of society where, I mean, short of the Lord restoring our shame, our guilt, our conscience as a society. I mean, individuals, of course, have their own, they might be ashamed, but as a society, we don't have shame anymore. Lacey Ann back again says, I appreciate these conversations. I was raised to not believe in God, but once I became a mother at 21, that's definitely changed. These topics need talked about more often, need to be talked about more often. I agree. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, sister. The whole point, the whole desire was just to have a good little conversation. Look at this Kamala Harris pearl clutching about Kamala Harris. I'm like, why are y'all upset? I just did not get it. I did not get what was everybody upset about. I'm like, why did you expect them to do something different? Please, like, I don't get it. Like, this was not a situation where you should have expected some good behavior from your elected officials when they ain't been doing good. Like, why are you surprised? Like, I don't get it. Let me see if I can. Now that, I think I actually saw this alive. Please do a review of Charlie Date's talk at Moody Bible. I'm almost certain I've seen this one, and I may take that up because I actually think Charlie Dates is problematic. This channel started out discussing critical race theory, Black Lives Matter, and social justice from a Christian perspective. And I will absolutely discuss it because a lot of the things that Charlie Date says are not biblical. They are culturally A-OK. They are biblically bankrupt. And so he says a lot of things that sound eloquent. And actually, he's a wonderful case study for a highly educated, biblically illiterate person. If you want another example, Raphael Warnock is another one. Jamal Bryant, E. Dewey Smith. Those are wonderful examples of men that sound extremely eloquent. They sound extremely educated, and they know absolutely nothing about the Bible. I would say William Murphy, but William Murphy doesn't even sound intelligent. T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes sounds extremely engaging. They're very good showmen. They're very, very good at articulating ideas and conveying a message that captivates you and brings you and draws you in. They're absolutely good storytellers. The problem is, story is also another name for a lie. They're also really good liars. At the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the issue is that what they're saying, does it match up with what Scripture has said? Does it match up with what God has said about himself? And therein is the rub, that it doesn't.